This is the tutorial on how to take advantage of saved selections, saved queries, and saved graphs in AquaTwin software. Your saved selections and saved queries and saved graphs can be found in the Selection tab of the Data Explorer. We'll start with saved selections. A saved selection is simply a shortcut to make a selection on a set of assets that were previously selected. For example, if I wanted to select all the pipes associated with this debris layer, I could do a select by location where I select all the conduits that intersect that debris layer and hit OK. And you can see the selection has been made in the map. Now to save this selection, I come up here to Save As, and we'll save it as a new selection, and we'll call it debris. Hit OK. Now if I clear this selection and double click on debris, you can see that same exact selection has been made in the map. So now I'll show you a few different ways on how you can take advantage of these saved selections. The first is if you use an AquaTwin selection and select any of these pipes, and then go back to the AquaTwin selection, click the drop-down menu, and click on Apply Selection. Now you're making a global change to all of the assets that you have selected. So if you find yourself making the same set of changes on the same set of assets over and over, you can actually have a saved selection, make global changes, and you know that you're making global changes on the same assets every single time. The next way you can take advantage of these saved selections is with our multiple graph option. If you come up to the graphing button, click the drop-down menu, and click on multiple graph, you'll see everything that you have selected is now showing up in the graph. So if you find yourself viewing the same set of assets and you want to view those on a multiple graph, you can have the saved selection of those assets so you don't have to manually select them every single time. One final way you can take advantage of saved selections is if you find yourself looking at the input or output data of the same set of assets. What you can do is come down here to the Digital Twin tab, and if you open up your twin table for the selected assets, you'll notice that only what's selected is showing up in these tables. So if you have a saved selection of those assets where you like to view the data, you can simply run that saved selection, open the table, and this is the only thing that's going to be shown in the table is what is selected. The next thing we're going to look at are saved queries. The difference between a saved selection and a saved query is that a saved selection is just simply that, a saved selection of assets, while a saved query is based on a set of rules. By running a saved query, assets in the model are selected based on if they meet the criteria of the rule or not. You can see there is a saved query folder where you can create new and edit existing queries. You can run saved queries on GIS attributes, hydraulic model input and output data, and then also risk results and inspection data from AquaTwin Asset. You can see here I choose the asset type that I want to make the selection on. The data source is going to be that GIS attribute or hydraulic model risk results inspection data. And then you can see here I have different options from my hydraulic model for this example since I'm using Digital Twin. If I run this query, which is where I want to select all the pipes where the maximum D over D ratio is greater than 0.8, you can see the pipes in the model have now been selected if they meet that criteria. The saved query I have under this is using GIS attributes. So for this example, my pipe feature class, I actually added a field called zone where I split the different pipes in this model into different zones. So if I run this query, it's actually going to select all the pipes where zone is equal to 1. The next feature we're going to look at are saved graphs. Saved graphs are whenever you pull up a graph of an asset, you have the ability to save it and refer back to it. For instance, if I select this pipe and pull up a time series of its flow, I can save it, hit OK. Now if I close out of this, go to the Selection tab, you see in my Saved Graphs folder, I have the test graph saved. And if I double click it, it reopens the same graph. So if you find yourself looking at the same set of graphs over and over, you can easily save them and quickly refer back to them.